Hi Stampers, it's Nancy from Stampin' Shout. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. You know, I'm here every day at noon, and this week we are creating with the Softly Sketched stamp set. And I am really enjoying using this stamp set. I've already done 2 videos, so if you missed them, go back and watch them. We did a card using this image and the grape image. And this is a really easy stamp set to use, but there's so many unique things you can do with it. So I'm hoping that you're enjoying the cards that I'm sharing with you. It's simple, but it's elegant, and I like simple. So today's card is this card right here. So we're using that 3rd image of the little butterfly on the flowers. And I used some pretty new designer series paper, and the embossing folder is also new. So let me bring in my supplies. So I'm using a base of Berry Bliss. Haven't used that for a while. And my stamping pieces are very vanilla. And on the front, I have a piece of crumb cake that we're going to emboss. Then I have my scrap, and I have a pretty piece of designer series paper. I want to mention this designer series paper. This is one of the new items in the new mini catalog. So the mini catalog just came out yesterday. It's so exciting. Oh, really cool products in there. But this designer series paper is called All About Autumn. So it's 6x6 paper, and you got to see it. So let me just briefly show this to you. One side are all foil patterns. So this is the one we're using today. But just look. Oh, and the colors, let me tell you the colors as we're going through. Cajun Craze, Copper Clay, Crushed Curry, Early Espresso, Moody Mauve, Mossy Meadow, Pretty Peacock, Pumpkin Pie, and Berry Vanilla. So I don't know if we can see this. Oh, this one is so pretty. There's the Moody Mauve. And then that's the Copper Clay, I believe. Now this one is just got a little bit of a different design to it. It's got leaves instead of the little check marks, the little squares. It's really pretty. And then I got to show you the other side. Okay, so the other side has fall images. So this would be great for scrapbooking right there. Looks like a little blanket or an afghan. Little wood texture. All the pretty fall colors. Just a little design. I like this one. All the pumpkins. Really gets you in the mood, doesn't it, for fall? And we have books and leaves. Ooh, it looks like a little leather couch pattern. More leaves. And then another sample of books. So anyways, that paper is really pretty. So hope to use a lot of it. And back to our card for today. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in another new product. This is the Distressed 3D embossing folder. So it's got a nice cool design, and it's distressed looking. And we're going to put this in, and we're going to emboss it. But I didn't do it off camera because I want to show you what I'm going to do. So I'm not going to put it in all the way. I'm going to leave the bottom unembossed because I'm going to stamp there. So I don't want to stamp on the embossing. And it really looks cool when it's done. So I got about 1 1/4 inches here left at the bottom. And I'm going to run that through the machine, and you'll see what it looks like in just a minute. Okay, so you can see how it's just embossed there on the top. And our designer series paper is going to cover up the little line there, so that's not going to matter. So that's done. And now we're going to do a little bit of stamping, and we're going to do some embossing with gold embossing powder. So let me bring in a scrap here. And one of the other items that I'm using are the dies from the Ringed in Nature stamp set. And these are the coordinating dies that go with it. And I use this die right here. And when I'm done stamping, I'm going to cut that out in that position. So I'm going to stamp right in the middle there. So I'm going to bring in my Versamark and my little image of flowers with the little butterfly. I'm going to use my little embossing buddy here. And I'm going to stamp right in the middle. And I'm bringing my little embossing tool. This is nice. It's a nice little tray that holds all the powder, and then you can pour it back in your jar when you're done. Comes with a little brush, so you can brush off any excess powder that shouldn't be in certain spots. Like I have a line right there, and I can just brush that away. And now we're going to heat emboss this. I'll put my gold powder away after the video. So now I can bring in my little holder. This also comes with that embossing tool. And I'm going to bring in my heat tool. I'm going to get my heat tool hot, and then I'm going to point it at my little image there. So I'm not sure if you noticed, but when I was heating this with my heat tool, I kept my heat tool in one spot, and I just pointed it at the image, and then when I saw the change happen, then I slowly moved it. So you do not have to go like this with the heat gun. You don't go all over. You just work on one little area, and then as it changes, you just move your heat gun. So it gave us a beautiful gold shiny image. So now I'm going to bring in my little Ringed with Nature die, and I'm going to center my image underneath it, and I'm going to cut that out. So that's what it looks like when it's all cut out. So it's got a really cool and unique shape to it by using those Ringed with Nature dies. So now let's continue with our card. We'll put it all together here. I'm going to stamp on this piece, and I'm going to stamp using Early Espresso. I want something dark. The images in this stamp set are really pretty. So I'm going to stamp Just Hope You Know, and on the inside I'm going to stamp You're Not Alone. And it's a real fine font. That's why I decided to go with a nice dark color like Early Espresso. So I'm just going to ink that up, and I'm going to stamp right over here on the right side. Just like that. And then I'll bring this piece in and go ahead and stamp our sentiment on there. Just like that. And now we're going to put some of this together. So on the front, I'm going to glue the embossed piece to the front of the card. And then I'm also going to glue our Pretty Designer Series paper on the front of the card. And on the inside, I'm going to glue this with our little strip of Designer Series paper. So there we go. So far so good, right? But we're not done yet. We got a little fussing to do, and we got to make it really, really pretty. So I am going to bring in my dimensionals, and I'm going to pop that up right there. Just like that. And then I have some linen thread here. This is probably about 10 inches or so, and I'm just going to tie a double bow for the front of our card. I'm going to attach that with a glue dot. And then we'll add a few embellishments. These are the rustic metallic adhesive back dots. So I'm going to add a few of these on here to make it really look pretty. So I got a couple of tiny ones we'll put up there at the top. And I think I'll put a larger one down here at the bottom. So there's our card for the day, softly sketched. So we used that image right there, and we embossed it with the gold powder. We gave it a little texture in the background. We added that pretty strip of foil Designer Series paper, and we added a little bit inside. And there you go. I hope you liked it. Please leave comments and let me know. I'll be back tomorrow at noon. Don't be shy. Stamp and shout.